welcome to Frankie Boyles' Rehabilitation programme. Now, most of society thinks I shouldn't be on TV anymore, and in approximately 9 months, when I've made enough money to retire, I'll agree. For now, we've come up with a show where I say my usual offensive things and people try to prove me wrong. You're probably wondering what the show will be like. Well, I'll be speaking for some of it. There'll be some guests. Before you know it, there'll be a commercial break. We'll be back. We'll all be dead in 10 years. Then our kids will die. Eventually, there'll be a complete heat death of the universe. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. My point is, we've got a packed show, but it doesn't really matter. So what's been happening this week? Well, public sector workers held a strike. And no wonder. Teachers might have to work until they're 70. Can you imagine a 70-year-old maths teacher? If there are 2 milk bottles on my doorstep, and they're joined by a further 10 milk bottles, how long have I been dead? Jeremy Clarkson told the One Show that strikers should be taken outside and shot in front of their families. The BBC answered complaints by saying it was just a joke. What sort of a defence is that? I'd have thought Jeremy Clarkson would have been more imaginative and wanted to see the strikers fired through a burning caravan while Richard Hammond looked on brain damaged. Just a joke, Jeremy. A clip of a racist woman on a tram caused outrage. That was shocking, wasn't it? We've got trams? The Metropolitan Police quickly tracked her down and offered her a job. Not working for the police. They want her to play centre-half for Chelsea. Men have been warned that Wi-Fi laptop connections can damage sperm. I keep checking my sperm when my laptop is on, and to be honest, it seems fine. If anything, it's the laptop that gets damaged. It looks like an overfilled cheese toastie. Anyway, let's get on with the show. According to the channel, I'm such a cunt that I can't be left alone. So joining me on the show are my celebrity guests. Please welcome Reginald D. Hunter and Jack Whitehall. Thanks for joining us, guys. Well, in addition to Jack and Reg, I've been joined by a lot of other people who probably disagree with me bitterly, my studio audience. We made everybody fill out a questionnaire for the show. And now we're shopping online with your details, which we will later sell on to a Russian identity thief known only as Mr. Raccoon. Who have we got in the audience? Where's Lucy Draper? How you doing, Lucy?
Yeah,
I like your questionnaire. You keep lizards.
Yep.
You're a vegetarian and you go on animal testing protests.
Yep.
What have you got against animal testing? Because without animal testing, how would we know what type of cigarettes a dog likes?
But the thing is, animal testing doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you
It does. I now know what type of makeup would kill a rabbit.
I get quite annoyed by that when people say they shouldn't put, like, makeup on dogs and stuff, because I think animals have the right to look fabulous as well.
Who else have we got? We've got Zara Rahman. Where's Zara?
Me.
Hey, how you doing, Zara?
I'm good.
What caught my attention from you? You said you cried when Gaddafi died.
I did indeed.
I couldn't actually watch the bit where he died, because I was coming so hard that my glasses fell off. Who else have we got? Where's Sean Rutledge? How you doing, Sean?
Very well, sir. How are you?
I'm very good, man. You say, and it seems unlikely now that I look at you, you've been inspired by Bono and Madonna.
Yeah.
Finally, we've found someone who believes Bono's bullshit. What's good about Bono?
Bono, he's done a heck of a lot for the world, for charity. He's raised hundreds of millions of
pounds for starving people.
Kept quite a lot of tax money as well, hasn't he?
Hey, Frankie, isn't the argument that the tax system itself is corrupt and evil and oppresses most people? So why would he give money to that? Why wouldn't he just rather give it to a bunch of hungry niggas?
Yeah, I appreciate your point.
When I say niggas, I don't mean black people, I mean as a group. Like, for instance, if you was eating some crisps, I might say, let me get a handful of them crunchy niggas.
Now I'll try it.
I think you should give it to some crunchy niggers, if I'm honest. I think it's
When you say it sounds like a new cereal. Crunchy niggas.
It's weird, man, because I had a thing last year. I did a joke that was about the Ministry of Defence being racist, right? I said, at least in the old days we were honest, and we called it the Ministry of War. And I'd do a guy at the Ministry of War picking up the phone and going, hello, Ministry of War, Department of Nigger Bombing, how can I help? It came from a quote I'd read, right? So I'd read a quote from Lloyd George, and he'd been asked, what will Britain do if America becomes more powerful? And he said in Cabinet, we'll sell them our expertise in bombing niggers. Right? So I thought, well, that's worth doing a joke about. That's an important thing, and that's something that's worth using that word for, right? A guy came up to me at a gig in Glasgow, a white guy. He said, I don't think you can ever use the word nigger for any reason. And I said, you've just used it. And he actually said what I hope I would say in the circumstances. He went, no, I didn't.
I kind of set you free when I said the word nigga. You're like, oh.
Okay. During the show, I'm going to say some things I genuinely believe, and some right-thinking people are going to try and prove me wrong. We start with my big statement. This week, the Levinson inquiry has been hearing evidence from wrong celebrities like Charlotte Church, Hugh Grant and Steve Coogan. And this week's big statement is... Personally, I thought phone hacking was a good laugh. Now, obviously, I'm not talking about the more upsetting cases. I'm talking about celebrities. You can't really get rid of tabloid journalism. Celebrity is just a price that people pay when they turn their privacy into money. To argue against me, please welcome the Guardian legal correspondent, Afua Hirsch. How you doing, Now, my angle is, phone hacking was a bit of a laugh. You can't really get rid of this sort of thing. And I can see why, you know, Hugh Grant or Steve Coogan would like to have publicity on their own terms. But if you take coke and shag people, you'll probably get outed by papers eventually, won't you?
I don't think it's about having publicity on your own terms. I mean, I accept that if you're going to put yourself in the public domain, then a certain degree of publicity is going to come with it. You want that, you court it. But there has to be a line. Everyone's entitled to a private life. Just because you make money out of being a public person, it doesn't mean that the public have a right to know your intimate secrets. Now, there are exceptions. Like, for example, if you're lying publicly, then you should be corrected. But I don't think there's a blanket right to know the details of people's private lives just because they're in the public domain.
But I sort of think, isn't there a thing of, this is what people want to know, and at least there's a kind of honesty to the tabloids. So if you can't afford a holiday home in the Cotswolds, or you can't afford a mini break abroad, or the various things that the broadsheets are based around, maybe you've only got 30p for a newspaper and you want to know who Rio Ferdinand's shagging. Is that really so terrible?
I don't know. Do you really think you would wake up on Sunday morning feeling like your life was less rich if you didn't know what Charlotte Church was like in bed?
Yes. Foolish question.
Yeah, maybe that was the wrong one to pick for you, Frankie. But I think that there is a distinction between what's in the public interest and what's interesting to the public.
Jack?
Just to throw this into the mix...
throw it like that.
In terms of my interests, it may surprise some of you, but I'm a big fan of breasts. And News of the World, gone now, so there's no more tits on a Sunday. So I think the Observer has to pick up the slack. And what I'd like to see is some left-wing titties. I want to see Shami Chakrabarti in a wet T-shirt, and then I'll be happy.
I think that...
Or you could just have a conversation with a real woman.
I don't understand why people were leaving voicemail messages that meant anything. Surely voicemail messages are just people going, Dave here, phone is back. You know, if I'd been more famous and I'd been getting my phone hacked, I would have got my friends to leave messages claiming that I'd raped them. Or, in fact, a really poor impressionist. Hello, David Bellamy here. Why did you rape me? I pity the fool that raped me. How were they getting anything salacious out of voicemails?
Well, but one of the things that's come out as well, it's just coming out now actually, is that as well as phone hacking, there was a lot of surveillance going on, and I think that's only now starting to emerge. But it's not surprising, it's a slippery slope. Once you accept that it's okay to listen to people's voicemails, you know, then it's fine to go through their bins, it's fine to have surveillance cameras on them.
OK, well, we'll listen to you. You've got one last chance to convince me. Why shouldn't phone hacking have been allowed?
Because we have a press we should be proud of in this country. You know, News of the World, the oldest Sunday newspaper, it's such a shame that it had to close. But if we're going to continue to have a press to be proud of, it has to have standards. And standards have completely disappeared under self-regulation. So there needs to be a totally clean slate and start again. But if we want papers that you can actually read and think you're getting information from rather than just random salacious gossip, then something has to change.
I think, you know, it's a good point. I'm going to agree with you and decide that I'm wrong. And to mark this occasion, I'd like to present you, Afua, with a I Proved Frankie Wrong medal. now that Jim will fix it's dead, I think I've taken over this area of life. Thank you, Afua.